Subscribe to Vids Tube for latest tech related videos. Unihertz sent out this TickTock S, which is the newest addition to the TickTock lineup. Their previous TickTock 5G rugged phone and the ticktock-e got a lot of eyeballs, and here's the newest addition, TickTock S. Now the name TickTock has nothing to do with the social media platform TikTok, where by the way Vids Tube has its presence, so be sure to check out Vids Tube over there from the links in the pinned comment. But the word TickTock, I believe so, stands for the TikTok sound that a watch makes, and yes, this smartphone has a smartwatch slapped on its back. So let's check out this phone, starting with unboxing, and it came in a box like this one. Inside the box you get the phone itself, a USB Type-C charging brick which most of the premium smartphone manufacturers do not include, a USB Type-C to 3.5mm headphone jack, as this phone does not have a built-in headphone jack, so kudos for providing this adapter so you can plug into any wired headphone to this TickTock S smartphone, a USB Type-C to C cable for charging and data transfer. Now the unit that I have is a pre-production sample, so yours might be slightly different in terms of unboxing experience. I have provided the direct link to this smartphone in the video description and in the pinned comment for you to check it out its current price, as at the time of filming this video, the purchase page for this smartphone was not live yet. So please be sure to check out the pinned comment for that. Now this phone runs on Android 12, so setup process was super simple. You do get option to apply backup from your existing Android or Apple smartphone. Anyways, talking about its design, this phone is truly rugged. The outer body has these metal rims on the side. On the right side there is the fingerprint scanner and the volume rocker. And the left side houses a SIM tray along with the red colored accent customizable button. Now the back is made of some sort of plastic and rubber combination with unique and distinct metal rims integration at the back, and around the secondary display with the orange accent line on the side, giving this phone a very unique look. Honestly, the back of this TickTock S is very unique and easily identifiable. Also, the place where you'll be holding this phone from has metal edges, so you get that premium feel while holding this phone, and the rubber plastic body provides you that needed grip. Now apparently this is not a slim or a lightweight smartphone. It's chunky, hefty, but it also has a huge battery inside it of 5200 mAh. And speaking of specs, here are the detailed spec list of this phone. Now instead of me reading out the specs, just pause this video to read through the whole spec list. But briefly going over to the spec list, few distinct specs to point out is that this TickTock S has 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of UFS 2.2 internal storage with no expansion via microSD card. This phone has an octa-core 2.2 GHz processor. On top of that, it has all the needed sensors like Wi-Fi, NFC, GPS, fingerprint sensor, etc. In short, for a budget price point, you're getting top of the line premium features. So now let's talk about the display. TickTock S has a primary 6.53-inch LCD display with resolution of 1080 by 2340 pixels. Well, numbers aside, the display is quite bright and vibrant, but it can't be compared to those AMOLED display in those premium flagship smartphones, for which you will be paying 3 times more money than this TickTock S. The secondary display is of 360 pixel resolution, which is about the same as most of the smartwatches, and in fact it is a smartwatch on the back of your smartphone. The sub-display is also vibrant with punchy colors. More about its function later during the video. So far, just in terms of sheer specs, this seems to be on par with most of the budget smartphones in this price category with impressive specs, and from my usage up until now, the phone does stand up to my necessities. It sure is quite fast while using multiple apps, and switching between different apps does not seem to be an issue at all. And there are no lags whatsoever with daily usage. I can say that if you are just browsing on the web or strolling along social media platforms, this phone will stand up to your expectation. Now in terms of call quality, I have used this phone for multiple phone calls and it's quite good. One impressive thing about this smartphone is its loudspeaker, which in fact is quite loud. Here's a sample of its quality and you can be the judge in the comment section. Now in terms of security, this phone has pin and pattern unlock, but on top of that it also has face unlock. Now I have tested and tried to trick its sensor with images of my face, but it does not unlock that way. It somehow needs my real face to unlock. So it is reliable, but what I would personally rely heavily on for security is the fingerprint sensor, which is quite robust and it is housed under the right-sided power button and it works great every single time. It also is quite responsive, so in terms of security, this TickTock S checks off all the needs. Now for those whom it matters, here are the specs of this device from the Geekbench app. And here's the score for both single core and multi-core. Again, pause the video to read through the detailed score. Now when you compare this score against the Galaxy S21 Ultra, you can see that this TickTock S has half the score of the premium S21 Ultra, but remember the price is also 4 times lower than those premium smartphones. However, what really matters is the performance, and it is not affected at all. I have been playing games like GTA San Andreas on this TickTock S, and not for once I have noticed any lags or issues, and overall the gameplay is very smooth. I've tried multiple game titles on this phone and there is no issue at all. So overall I am quite impressed with this phone and its performance. The only thing I can't get unnoticed is the display, and that's because I have been using premium phones like this iPhone 14 Pro, but if you have only used budget phones up until now, then I bet you will enjoy this display. Now in terms of battery life, this phone has a whopping 5200 mAh battery cell, whereas my iPhone 14 Pro only has 3200 mAh battery cell. And from my testing, this TickTock S has consistently outlasted my iPhone 14 Pro with the same sort of usage, and honestly, when on standby, this TickTock S has gone almost 5 days. Plus, this phone comes with a charging adapter and cable included inside the box, unlike most of those premium smartphones, and it has 30-watt fast charging, which is the cherry on top. So in terms of battery life, TickTock S will certainly impress you for sure. What's even more impressive is the secondary smartwatch-like display at the back of the phone. Now this for some of you may feel like a gimmick, but honestly I would argue as it's quite useful. A lot of budget smartphone at this price point only offers one primary display, but this TickTock S, for the same price you get this secondary display, which from my testing is a conversation starter for sure and adds a very distinct look to your smartphone. But on top of all that, it's very functional. You can check the time even from the back of your phone. Not just that, when you swipe down, you can check the battery level. When you swipe up, you can check the notifications. Now these notifications can be customized from the settings, along with a whole bunch of customization that you can access for this sub-display from the settings. One of which is watch faces, where you can apply any of these preloaded watch faces, and even more, you can make your own custom background watch faces, which is ingenious. Now from this sub-display, when you swipe left or right, you can access all the apps like music, from where you can control the music player without even touching the main display, which is pretty cool and helpful. Next is compass. There is also camera control, which is my most favorite use case of this sub-display, as you can literally take high resolution selfies better than the selfie camera, which is pretty cool for the price point. Let me know in the comments down below which is your favorite feature of this sub-display. Now let's talk about the camera quality and wrap this video up with my final thoughts. Now right off the bat, despite of this front camera being 32 megapixel, it lacks autofocus as it only has fixed focus. So you won't be getting those nice portrait shots that you can get with those premium smartphones. Plus there aren't many modes available on the front facing camera. However, because of 32 megapixel sensor, the image is crisp and preserves a lot of details, but not so much in low light, which is expected for this budget price point. What is impressive though is the rear-facing 64 megapixel primary camera with only 2 megapixel macro lens with a flashlight. Now from my usage, this rear primary 64 megapixel camera pumps out good quality pictures and videos. Under perfect circumstances, this camera gives out that nice blurred background bokeh effect. Also, due to the high megapixel, the image preserves a lot of details. There is also a pro mode where you can adjust all these parameters. And under more, you'll find macro mode, which I'm not that impressed with due to its lower resolution image, and it does not pick up much of the details either unless you make sure appropriate lighting situations are maintained, as at the low light the macro camera does not perform well at all. However, under the low light situation, the primary 64 megapixel camera does a decent job with good quality pictures. Now, in terms of video, the primary 64 megapixel camera can shoot 2K, that is 2560 by 1440 pixel videos, while maintaining good focus quality. So overall, in terms of camera, this TickTock S has a very decent combination of camera sensors for the price point. Overall, the camera is enough to take good family pictures and selfies while maintaining proper detail, especially with that secondary sub-display, which can be used as a secondary screen to take high resolution selfies. What I would not recommend this camera is for the low light scenarios, which I find most of the phones at this price point does struggle quite a lot. With that said, here are my final thoughts. If you're looking for a budget price range phone, then just remember there are not much smartphones out there which would offer all the above mentioned features on top of a secondary display, which is just so nice to have for this price point. And if you are someone who does not like the attention grabbing back with the secondary watch-like display, then this phone is not for you. But overall, this phone has decent specs, great quality speaker, nice security features, decent display with processor fast enough for routine use and even gameplays as shown earlier during this video, with decent camera and an amazing smartwatch display on the back with top of the line specs. If all this sounds right, then just head down to the link in the video description and the pinned comment to check out its current price and any special early bird discount. Also subscribe as it's free, plus I do regular tech videos on this channel. Also check out these smartphones as I bet you will be intrigued by them.